bum 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 ba-dum bum 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 ba-da-da-dum bum bum ba-da ba-ba-dum bum 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 ba-dum bum 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 bum. Hello, my friends. It's Monday night at 8 o'clock. And my name is Joette Calabrese, and we do one thing and one thing only every Monday night at this time. I teach you what I know about homeopathy, and I hope that you help each other. I like that this community is growing so greatly. I love it. So for those of you who don't know me, that's what I do. For those who do know me, welcome, my friends. It's just great to see you. It's wonderful to see you, New Hampshire and Ontario. Wonderful in South Carolina. Yes, freezing hello from Toronto and New Hampshire and Ajax, Ontario. So good to see everyone. Welcome, my mighties, Joette's mighty members, and welcome to all of those who are coming from other sources. Please remember to like, share, and comment and subscribe. That does help us. It's not that I want you to know, my friends, I don't make anything on doing this. You do know that, right? I mean, I'm not getting affiliate fees by doing this. So it's not that I need the numbers in order to build affiliate fees so that I can start advertising someone's product. I don't do that. That's not my shtick. I want this to happen because I want homeopathy to thrive. I want it to come back around in North America. It's still big in other parts of the world. It never waned as it did in the U.S. and Canada. But South America and Central America and Europe and India, homeopathy still is alive and well. And so we need that to happen here too, because we don't want to be left behind. Right? So sound is good. You can hear me. You can see me. Hi from Indiana. That's Joy. So please share this with your friends. Get your kids to watch this. You want your children self-sufficient, my friends, and that should start early. You don't want to start too late in life. You want them to get this at an early age so that you can say, oh, look what happened to your brother. This is how I taught my children. Every one of my 3 sons, and they skied almost every day because we lived right across the street from a ski area, and they skied every day in the winter. And so they were all told to keep their arnica in their parka. And if one brother got hurt, then the other brother knew instantly to get his arnica from his pocket and administer it to his brother and then contact me. Oh, hello from Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. That's great. I just went to a fabulous little church in Niagara Falls, Ontario, St. Anne's. Pretty sure it was St. Anne's. Yeah, it was St. Anne's. Oh my gosh, what a great little church. I was just there a month ago. Wonderful priest you got there, if you know who I'm talking about. Anyway, so we want our kids to know this stuff. We want them to not only know that arnica is for head injuries or soft tissue injuries or broken bones, etc., and especially as a first aid. We want them to know, hello from Buffalo, Kissing Bridge. No, that wasn't Kissing Bridge, my friends, for where it was a Buffalo Ski Club right across the street. It used to be called Tamarack, and then it turned into Buffalo Ski Club. So anyway, we want our children to know what to use for a cough, a cold. What if mom is so busy? We have many of my followers have very large families, and they can't treat every single child. So the older ones and even the younger ones need to know what homeopathic medicines to use. Yes, indeed, they do. And so that's why it brought me to this. This was suggested, and I was trying to think, what are people worried about right now? What are the concerns that most people have at this time of year, besides the cold weather and the snow and the ice and the forthcoming rain and all of that? Well, apparently people are concerned about RSV, and it is something that I think is important, because as soon as letters are assigned to a disease, I think maybe I'm being too cynical, okay? I think that adds so much more mystique. It makes it sound so special. It makes it sound like this is different. You know, it used to be when you take your child to the doctor and the child had a sore throat, a scratchy throat, the doctor would say, yep, sore throat. Yep, that's what it is. Now then the doctor started to say it's strep. Now we know what kind of bacteria it is, right? But now they say, oh no, this is just any strep. This is strep B. It gives it more punch, wouldn't you say? It's not just arthritis, it's bone on bone. The more descriptive, it's just like when you go to a restaurant. This is not just any lamb chop. This is a free-ranged, happy-go-lucky New Zealand lamb. It makes it more interesting. It holds your attention. And that's what I think happens too much in medicine. So... We're going to be talking about RSV, respiratory syncytial virus. Now, is this dangerous? Let's start with that. Is it dangerous? Is a cold dangerous? Is a flu dangerous? And is it important that we identify everyone? This is this strain. This is the new strain, and then use names from that are new names, Delta and Alpha, and changing it and making it more specific. It sounds so mysterious. But my friends, how do you know if it's just a cold or it's a certain kind of V, or it's an RSV? How do you know? How do you differentiate? And are you going to wait and find out at a later date? Or are you just going to go ahead and use your homeopathic medicines based on what? What are we going to base it on? Symptoms. Because symptoms don't lie. Symptoms don't hide behind words, don't hide behind titles and names. Doesn't matter, says Glenn. You got it. We use symptoms. So if someone gets sick and they're getting what might be identified as a V, a virus, an RSV, or a different kind of V, then if we don't know what it is, now what do? Do we have to scramble and get to the hospital really fast? Do we have to get to a doctor's office and find out what it is and identify it and then freak out? Or do we simply use the symptoms? I'm going to make this really easy, my friends. Number one, stop with the fear. Stop worrying. This is not something to worry about. This is something to celebrate. Why do I say that? Does that sound kooky? It is celebratory because it is an opportunity for the body to release what needs to be cleaned out. Okay, so Alice says, I was hospitalized with RSV in grade 2. I remember the oxygen tent and the febrile hallucinations and being hard to breathe. You know, in 1958, you know what? I remember that too, but I wasn't in the hospital. I remember having difficulty breathing, and I remember high fevers myself, and I remember the delusions I had with the high fevers, but here you are. Here you are, an RSV survivor. That's what's important, my friends. Is it uncomfortable? Can it seem scary? Is it uncomfortable? Yes, because being human is uncomfortable. Did you die? No, you did not die, Alice. It's so nice to have you here. And I don't think that's what you're saying. I think what you're saying is that you're reporting to us and letting us know that it did happen. Yes. Yep. I had febrile hallucinations. Let me ask you, my friends, if you're my age, 60s, 70s, even beyond, did any of you ever have fevers in which you didn't have febrile hallucinations? I think we all did. It's part of being a child and getting sick, and the fever gets good and high the way we want it to get. And yes, it can be difficult to breathe sometimes. Now, if it goes into pneumonia, okay, you got me there. That absolutely, we're going to use different medicines if it goes into pneumonia. But if it's so inconclusive whether or not it's like, is this cold? Is this RSV? Is this a flu? It's inconsequential. We're going to start with one very, very important medicine, and it is a Banerjee protocol. And it is a writer-downer. I'm a measles, mumps, chickenpox, pneumonia, pleurisy survivor, but I haven't been sick in many years. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Leanne. Yep. Okay. The medicine is, you ready? You already know it, for those of you who've been following me, because I talk about it all the time. The medicine is Aconitum nipalis, or aconite, Aconitum, aconitum. Second word is nipalis. No matter. Just aconitum is the medicine. You don't need the second word necessarily. Aconitum nipalis 200C or CK or CH. C is the letter, but you can have it CK or CH. Aconitum C mixed with bryonia. Bryonia. Bryonia 30. Now, you can purchase them mixed together from OHM. That is the pharmacy that my students purchase from and my clients. But they're not a retailer. So they don't sell on a retail level. They only work with practitioners and my students and perhaps other homeopath students. But what you can do is get Aconitum 200, get that from Boron, and then get the Bryonia 30 and put the aconite in the mouth and put the Bryonia in the mouth simultaneously and then suck on them together. That is the medicine. Anytime someone comes down with something that looks like it could be croup, could be a cold, could be a virus, could be it could even be croup. It could be, as I said, it could be croup. Could be any one of those. Influenza. We don't know what it is, and it is unnecessary to know which virus it is. It's unnecessary. In fact, if anything, I actually find it to be so unnecessary that it confuses people. Superfluous is the word I was looking for. If we try to identify every little single microorganism, you're going to go crazy. You're going to go crazy. Go by the symptoms. What are the symptoms of RSV? Wait till you hear them. Whoa. Runny nose, stuffy nose, a cough, a fever, sore throat, sneezing. It's not everything, but it can be a combination of these. A headache. What does that sound like to you? Does that sound like something rare and so unusual that you need to know what this is that's going on? It is. That is a description of all of the respiratory things that are going around in the winter. And why, my friends, is this so weather related? Is it that it is the weather? That is what's happening? That we are experiencing something related to what's going on in our environment? Yep, I think so. Headache. Reduced appetite. That sounds like every garden variety, cold, virus, flu. It sounds all the same to me. It sounds all the same to me. And so, just because something is uncomfortable does not mean that we need to get drugs or that we even need to be afraid of it, because we have in our hands the most powerful medicine known to mankind. Yes, homeopathy. Yes. And it's not that I believe that because I'm a homeopath. I believe that, and it turned me into a homeopath because I tried everything else. Been there, done that, my friends. Been there and done it for many, 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 many years. So, this can happen to children. Getting this RSV, getting a cold, getting a flu can happen to infants. And what do? We use the same medicine. Aconitum 200 mixed with Bryonia 30. And if it's severe enough, we're going to use it maybe, every few hours. If it's not that severe, then maybe, every 5 hours. If it's quite severe, we could use it closer together, maybe every hour until we see a shift. And what kind of a shift are we going to see? Do we expect complete cure? Or are we more reasonable and expect that the child, let's say it's a child, or the adult for that matter, has a little more energy? And they get up and the child starts to play a little bit. Or now the appetite is returned a little something. With little improvement on some level indicates to us that we indeed have chosen the right medicine. My daughter is sick right now, asks Bridget. I suspect RSV. Don't suspect anything. Just give her the medicines. Don't be suspicious, because as soon as we're suspicious that it is this virus or that virus, we're following down that path of fear. And I don't know that that's happening to you, but let me suggest to you, we just use the medicine that is noteworthy. And that is when we see a reduced appetite, or perhaps a cough, a low-grade fever, a sore throat, sneezing, headache, any one of those or a combination of those, then we automatically get out our Aconitum 200 Bryonia 30. And she wants to know, if all I've got is Aconite 30, can I use it? Yeah, you can use what you've got until you can get what you need. So I urge you to go ahead and get the rest of the medicine, get the 200, and use the Bryonia in a 30 and see how it goes. It may work beautifully, and then again, it may not work very well at all. What about an ear infection that just won't go away? Well, I don't know exactly what that means, Deb. Does it mean that you've been treating it homeopathically and you can't find the right medicine? You've used some and they're not acting? Because these conditions, and I don't know what that means, that she's had it for, this person has had this ear infection for 2 years. This person's had an ear infection for two days. No, I don't think you would say for 2 days. 2 weeks. Once you find the right homeopathic medicine, and what you do is go Joette Calabrese otitis media, or Joette Calabrese ear infection. You find it, and I give you exactly the medicines that are most useful. This year, I'm hearing more and more about the crazy mucus that is accumulating at the end, like so much mucus. Would love to discuss this in a future live. So much in the end. I'm not sure what you mean. Copious mucus at the end of a cough, maybe that could be. That could be what you're talking about. How long can you continue with aconite? Isn't there a 24-hour rule? I used to follow that rule, my friends. And I don't any longer, because I find that it acts regardless of the timing. It does seem to be useful even after 24 hours. I would use it well into, as long as you see, especially if you don't see someone getting worse, then I would carry on with aconite, even into days. I'm not talking about fifth disease today, but how many pillules per dose? How many pills are in a dose? Read your bottle. Whatever the bottle says, that's the number of pills. That's what to use. Why would you use, that's a good question, Aconitum 200 plus Bryonia 30 over Aconitum 200 Bryonia 200? And I will tell you why. Because the first year I went to the Banerjee, Santa Banerjee Homeopathic Research Foundation, I saw Aconitum mixed with Bryonia 200. I saw some of the doctors using that, and so I jotted it down when I got back to the U.S. That's what I taught. And then the next year, I sat with Prateep Banerjee more frequently. Actually used to work with, I used to sit next to Prateep, I used to work next to Prasanta Banerjee, and I used to work next to the other doctors. And I saw some of the doctors using it in those potencies. And I realized the second year, Prateep said, no, it's not 200, it's 230. So he corrected me. And I've come back and I've tried to correct that. Perhaps I haven't corrected it sweepingly enough for everyone to have caught on, but it really is better. 230. Okay. What's the difference between belladonna used for cold and aconitum? Came down with a fever that ranged from 101 to 102 aconitum bryonia throughout the day. You would have never have known she had a fever because she ended up happy and playing all day. Next day, fever gone. Yeah, it's beautiful. That's the way this works. It can be that fast, especially in a young one. Yes. Yeah, I have a client who swears by aconite bryonia both in the 200. Yeah, I'm not saying it won't work. I'm just saying that's not the protocol. That's not the protocol that I was supposed to give out to the world. I mistaken it. And as I said, I saw some of the doctors using it in those potencies. And so it was working for them. It's just not the Banerjee protocol. Prateep Banerjee corrected me. I have to take it repeatedly in the beginning to knock it out so the cold, etc., doesn't get a chance to take hold. The minute you feel a tickle in the back of the throat or behind the nose, that could mean every 30 minutes. It could. Yes, it certainly could. I'll usually feel the cold recede within minutes, sometimes for only half an hour at first, then one dose, then I dose it again and continues as soon as it starts to return. This person has so got it. You've so got it, Leslie. I'll prepare a combo dose on the bedside to take if I wake up and if I happen to still feel the cold by morning, it's gone. But this is challenging with a child because they aren't as astute. Yeah, not really. Think of it this way. Don't think of it as the child responding to you, telling you what's going on. Don't expect a child to give you the answers. Don't expect your dog to give you answers. I took care of my elderly mother who was in late dementia, and I didn't get answers from her. I just observed. And that's what this does, my friends. This forces us to observe carefully. So if you see that she's feeling a little better, then you know the medicine is acting. If you feel that she's not moving along quickly enough, then indeed repeat every 30 minutes, sometimes even every 15 minutes. What if it doesn't act? What would you use next? It depends on what happens next. You're looking at what is prominent now. Because by using a homeopathic medicine, we often see a shift. Something becomes the hierarchy, or starts as the hierarchy. Here it was, oh my gosh, this is it's everything all at once, happening all at once. You give the medicine and now the throat is very painful. Or now there's a cough that's more prominent. And now the cough, maybe let's say the throat is painful. Then we might go to HEEP ourselves. So we're looking at what is coming to the surface, not the whole consolidated constellation, but what's coming to the surface now. What is the most important condition? When people are afraid, they can be manipulated. Zenlinda. Brilliant, my friend. Brilliant. Do not be afraid. And the way you stay out of that fear space is to learn this stuff. Because when you know what to do, the fear just melts away. You don't even think about it anymore. It just isn't an issue. Right? There's no reason to be concerned. You know what to do. Here you go, honey. Aconite bryonia. I'll be right here for you. I'm laying right next to you to see how you do. That's why it's so important to own a good materia medica and to take classes and to learn how to use this blog, my friends. Learn how to use this blog. Use it constantly. And for those of you who don't know, this can also, by the way, a cold can turn into croup. More commonly in children, young children. But children who get croup that's a different sound. It's not just congested runny nose, reduced appetite, cough that little cough, sneezing, headache. It's not just that. Now the croup is a barky sound. So this is what I want you to do. You go to Joette Calabrese-Croup. And you'll find it on my blog. And I tell you exactly which medicine to start with. And it just so happens to be aconitum. And then what is the second medicine? And what is the third medicine? Potencies and frequencies and all. You bet. Join a gateway group, says Lisa Heinrich. Absolutely. Join a gateway group. It's key. It's very hard to do this alone. We're here on this earth together for a reason. Those people around you who are studying together with you online, live, where you're actually seeing each other on Zoom, when you meet with them and they become your buddies, now when you're not sure what the heck to do, you can contact your buddies in your gateway study group, or you can go to your teacher, the person who's running the group. How do you find a group? Go to Joette's Learning Center and just scroll down to Gateway. Gateway to Homeopathy, click on that and it'll give you all kinds of information. But I bet there are people right here who are running some of the groups, right? Who's running a group? Please let us know. Who's running a group and how can someone get a hold of you? So you can do it that way as well. Because there are a lot of the leaders for the groups are join me here. How are we doing on time? Good. We're getting it in. Let me just take a sip of water. That happened to my son. The cold changed to a sore throat and cough with hoarseness. So I added heat bar salt for hoarseness and phosphorus that I gave him along with the aconite and bryonia all together for a couple of days. But should I have stopped the aconite and bryonia when I added help and a heat bar salt and phosphorus? Well, you tell me. Did it work? Did it act? Is your son improving, or is he horribly, horribly sick? Think of it that way. When you use a homeopathic medicine and the person is improving, I would call that success, right? That's success. Now, I might have indeed stopped the aconite and bryonia because spongia or heat bar sulf, I think you said heat bar sulf is a great medicine for hoarseness, loss of voice, etc. I don't know that he even needed maybe phosphorus, but you did both. You did all three of them. No problemo. No problem, my friends. Don't worry about using more than one medicine. We don't want you to use 10, but we want you, all at once. But that's what it takes sometimes. Finding a way to help those who have bought courses to have a way of having the information in case the internet is no longer available. I've taken several courses and have started writing down info, but taking too long. No, but you, yeah, I know. Well, it is the best way to do it, and I will tell you that's the way I teach in my academy. I want my students to be writing this down, not just because the internet perhaps might be unavailable, but also because as you write, you learn. Okay. Replying to, let's see. Heinrich's Homeopathy is in Canada. Can you recommend a Canadian course? Well, it doesn't matter what country it's in. My courses are taught to students in India and Switzerland and Australia. It doesn't matter where you live. It's all online. They're all groups from all over the world, and you all meet together. You just find a time that suits you. Does not matter where you live, my friends. It's not like you're going to meet in your living room. Although if you choose to do that, you could do that too and bring in neighbors, etc. Yes, I've been buying homeopathy books like crazy just to keep the knowledge. You bet. Absolutely, my friends. Let's see. The vets. At Lois, because the something or other rate, the V rate dropped to 85%, so they want people to panic. I'm a measles survivor. It's a nothing burger. Thank you, Leanne. I had measles twice as a child. Yeah. It does help to learn. It does help to learn. Well, because we were on our skiing trip and I threw them all at him. You're very welcome, Tanya. I'm happy that it helped you. I'm part of a 90s and have a hard time finding a group. You should not have any difficulty finding a group. There are groups from all over the world. We have Australians, we have Europeans, we have Asians, so there should have no difficulty. But if you do, just contact my office and ask for Eileen. She's a magic worker when it comes to calendars and scheduling and helping people get together. Yeah, so many people I know are getting sick with fever, then bronchitis pneumonia comes on quickly. Aconite and bronchitis didn't change anything, and now they have a cough that just won't go away. Tried Heap Ourself, Kelly Carb, Ipecac, still have a cough. Any other suggestions? Have you ever heard of the 100-day cough? Of course, that's generally the 100-day cough. Listen, let me tell you something. I've been doing this a long time. It's the same every year. This is the same every single year. At least for the last 35 years that I've been in practice, it's the same thing every year. It just seems like more this year. Maybe there's a little more one year, maybe a little less another year, but I don't know how you would ever know. Yes, 100-day cough, absolutely. And let me tell you, what does that mean that the person is coughing? Are they coughing so that they're now bleeding? That they're coughing up blood? Are they coughing so that they can't sleep? Are they coughing and they cry out because it hurts so much? Or are they coughing and just cleaning out? It's mucousy and the cough is not in itself a dangerous thing. It's when it becomes a problem. Because we want someone to cough. You want that mucus. We don't want the mucus to sit there, right? We want it up and out. We want it to cleanse the lungs, to cleanse the trachea, the sinuses to cleanse. That's the only way it can be done, is if someone coughs. So I don't know what you mean by a cough that just won't go away. Coughs can last a long, long time, and often it's a really good thing. I'm not going to tell you it's always a really good thing, but often it is. It's necessary. It's just like a fever is necessary to cook off whatever's going on. It is one of the best responses. A cough is a good thing. Even a rash that comes after. A rash after a cold or a flu or whatever else is going on, or a V. It's got cleansing. We want that to happen. If you get you walk down the street and someone just sprayed pesticides on their lawn and you get a rash from that, wouldn't you rather have that than having it absorbed into and held into the system forever? No, you want the body to do what it's supposed to do, and that is to release it. Yes. Yes, a 100-day cough is often called whooping cough. It's not always, but that is another name for whooping cough. I had whooping cough myself. There are many medicines for coughs, and it depends on what kind of cough, whether it's a croupy cough, whether it's a mucousy cough, whether it's a gagging cough, etc. So if you're not finding solutions to this, then you might want to dig into your repertory. If you're really using homeopathy, you need to own a good repertory and start digging around. And there's a whole chapter just on coughs. I find it so fascinating about fevers for children, how it is actually a good thing. All these years, I always thought they were bad. Yeah, you're right, Jim. You're absolutely right. It's a good thing. We're supposed to get fevers. I wrote an article. I talked about it last week. It's called, you go to Joette Calabrese, Get Your Kids High. It's all about the importance of fever. Yep, Ipecac can be for a nagging cough. Nag and gag cough. Thank you very much, Tammy. I've written about that. Yes, Joette Calabrese. Ipecac, the nagging and gagging cough. What do you think of using influenza 30 prophylactic during flu season? Example of what is sometimes recommended might be 1 dose a week for 4 weeks. I used to talk about that a lot. I used to believe that would help, and it may indeed help. I don't want to say that it doesn't help. I just find these methods a little more efficacious. All right, my friends. Yeah, beautiful. Alice says, the only remedy that works every time for my gaggy cough with excess saliva is Ipecac 6. And you don't just use it once. Use it every 15 minutes if it's bad enough. And then you back off. You taper off as it's no longer needed. Okay, my friends. God bless you all. See you next week. Got to dash off. Got a class to teach. Talk to you soon. Bye now. Bye.
With our homeopathic protocols, you learn all your remedies. My family needs me, so I must know our remedies. How much to take, how often to treat, and when to stop, and when to repeat. With our homeopathic protocols, you learn all your remedies. Athusa, no dairy, it's elementary. With arnica head, arsenica fed, spigelia slither, orm sperm wither, no more. My family needs me, so I improve my memory. Not only the REMs, but how often to treat, and when to stop, and when to repeat. With your homeopathic protocols, a learner your remedies. Bellaso red and arnica hydrocera bark, ignatia dark, source of frigid and cuprum to rigid, and crude itches, calica barnicum, let it melt on your gumbo, vista weed are some great ways to treat yellow. La 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 la, homeopathic protocols, a learner your remedies. With our homeopathic protocols, you learn your remedies. My family needs a me, so I must know our remedies. How much to take, how often to treat, and when to stop, and when to repeat. With our homeopathic protocols, you learn your remedies. Athusa no dairy, it's elementary with arnica head, arsenicum fed, spigelia slither, orms from wither, no more. My family needs a me, so I improve my memory. Not only the REMs, but how often to treat, and when to stop, and when to repeat. With your homeopathic protocols, a learner your remedies. Bellaso red and arnica hydrocera bark, ignatia dark, source of frigid and cuprum to rigid, and crude itches, calica barnicum, let it melt on your gumbo, vista weed are some great ways to treat yellow. La 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 la, homeopathic protocols, a learner your remedies. With our homeopathic protocols, you learn your remedies. My family needs a me, so I must know our remedies. How much to take, how often to treat, and when to stop, and when to repeat. With our homeopathic protocols, you learn your remedies. Athusa no dairy, it's elementary with arnica head, arsenicum fed, spigelia slither, orms from wither, no more. My family needs a me, so I improve my memory. Not only the REMs, but how often to treat, and when to stop, and when to repeat. With your homeopathic protocols, a learner your remedies. Bellaso red and arnica hydrocera bark, ignatia dark, source of frigid and cuprum to rigid, and crude itches, calica barnicum, let it melt on your gumbo, vista weed are some great ways to treat yellow. La 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 la, homeopathic protocols, a learner your remedies.